Yes, nice photo, no?
Lady in Dresden, and she was actually the majority owner when we founded the agency, because it was under East German law, and you had a majority owner from East Germany, from at that time communist part of the country, and usually it was a way that former functionaries could jump into new structures. But when we came over to the city of Dresden to establish the agency, we did not want to have a party hack in our agency, of course. And so we asked the lady, the person who founded the agency, why don't you become our majority owner? And she said, well, why not? One of her sons was a founding partner of the agency as well. And to commemorate her and her founding act, you put this picture up here. So this is a color picture of Lore Schumann, and 2 weeks away from now she will celebrate her 70th birthday. So she was in her early 50s when we founded the place. Right here you are at the last building in East Berlin. Next to us, out of this window, you find a cemetery, and then there would have been the wall. So it's a unique place, and it's a bit special as well, due to the fact that it's so close to the wall. It was actually, as you can see, these type of walls are usually closed. They are called firewalls in architecture, and it's not allowed to have any windows in there, because if there's a fire in the city, the wall is supposed to stop it, that it's not jumping over to the next building. But because the East German Secret Service wanted to observe the pharmaceutical company of Schering, they opened the walls to put out their big ears and to observe their research labs, which are in West Germany, just the next building. So we are grateful to them because they allowed us to have more light. They never expected that. It's helpful to find out. Cecilia is going to tell you what's going on now.
Yes, always. Show in, no, the...
There's another terrace on the other side. The wall was just
behind the building?
Yes.
Almost nothing left. Slowly the faces are being raised.
It's strange how history goes very fast.
Not everywhere. In Poland actually you have still buildings left from the war.
Yeah.
Still
like this building. Yeah.
see a lot of
You know? I know it's 10 o'clock.
maybe that
It's too early.
maybe that.
Usually we talk about the balance about last year's successes. This time we could say a lot about last year, as it has been very successful. But this time we concentrated on our announcing our new partner law. It has two directions. Number one is, and most important to Scholz and Friends, that law worldwide will take the representation of us in all those countries where we not present yet. So the focus will be therefore Asia and North and South America. And furthermore, as law has an agreement with the other interpublic companies, we have access to 205 countries in the world. So we can offer our clients services everywhere in the world with one partner and a very detailed agreement about how we're going to serve them together. That makes the Scholz offer globally, and then something like we step finally what always has been our goal, finally in a position that we're one of 10 networks who really can offer a global offer. There's only one alternative similar to us, which is BBH. You may know that BBH has sold 49% of their shares, of its shares, to Leo Burnett 2 years ago. And via Leo Burnett, they have an access to every country also. It is somehow similar as BBH is a creative agency, highly reputed as you know. But beside that offer, there is no offer like this in the market, and there is furthermore no international network out of continental Europe. There are only Anglo-Saxon and French networks existing, and Japanese obviously. So the given that the global offer, you also know that we have this Orchestra of Ideas concept. We have bought 14 days ago this GKK, Europe's largest.
14 days ago?
14 days ago, yeah. We have announced it 14 days ago. Europe's largest independent dialogue agency with 450 people and 19.1 million euro in revenue. We are a top 10 PR agency anyway. We are have a very solid internet business or web service business. So we are truly in every direction a full service, all communication channels delivering company. So this is a truly complete offer. And I'm personally very proud of that. I announced 5 years ago that this is my long-term vision, and we could now deliver it. So I'm very proud of it. We also get a new sister in Germany, which is called Low Deutschland. You know, Low had for years a problem in Germany. Could not serve their clients the way their clients would like them to serve. And we are sort of like helping them creating a new law, which is called Law Deutschland. But it will not be a daughter company of Scholz & Friends, it will be a sister company of Scholz. These are like the two main developments. You find this all in your paperwork. But I really believe that this is a huge step for our agency, because the offer is we have a single offer in the German or continental Europe market, and even in those countries like Poland or entire Eastern Europe, there's no other company can offer those kinds of services we could. So now it's up to you to ask the questions.
Ich habe eine Frage, ich weiß nicht, I can also say it in English, but it's probably not interesting for you.
Do you see at this moment the future of advertising? After that, some big magazines like Advertising Age, they put the consumer as the middle of what's coming, and not the agency of the year is not an agency, it's a consumer, and all these changes we are seeing with YouTube and with the consumer making his own company sometimes. How do you see the next month for your company or for your agency?
That's a very clear perspective. Agencies, the business of the agencies will stay and increase. Because what we do practically is we help our clients to talk to their consumers, and that's getting more complicated than less complicated all over. The way we do that is going to change dramatically. So the agency business won't be the same like it used to be 5 years ago. But there's a huge need. As there are more communication channels, the clients are more self-confident. If you go into the hotel office, they usually had this 1 to 5 star system. It was completely obsolete. Yeah, because 1 to 3 stars is rarely there. I mean, it means that there's a hotel without a bathroom. It doesn't exist really in our area anymore. And the internet side, I do the same. If I choose a new hotel for vacation with my family, I obviously go into the internet and look what other people thought about it, which is the most important. So if I'm now consulting Lowe's, just one region as a hotel branch, and region is also here in Berlin, and they already asked us whether we can help. Then it's sort of like it's getting more complicated for them to guide their brand, to deliver the brand, and therefore the role of the agency will increase and not decrease. The content, that what we do, that will change. And even there, we have an advantage because we're usually younger, more flexible than our clients, so like the changes, it's easier to implement with ours and inside our clients in general. I mean, we talk about the entire industry. So I would say I'm very optimistic for agencies in general. In Spain, shortly. It's unfortunately not something we can announce today.
Okay.
But I would say this year there will be a Scholz offer again in Spain.
You will come again.
Communication channels. And the strategic goal or ambition of Scholz is that we, everywhere where we are, client give a superior service than our competitors in saying this. And if it comes to it that you need someone who can do everything in terms of intellectual guiding, it's not about execution. It's not about that you have your internet programmers in the company. That's not about it. It's about, I mean, who does do the project managing? Who can conceptually find a way in saying, listen, these are your messages, this is the order of the messages, and this is when and how and on which channel you say what and what time. That's mainly about it. And the success we have in Germany is based on we have superior service compared to our competitors. Because we are known as a creative agency, and we're still very creative, but we also are able to deliver all the rest of it. And there are either huge conglomerates who at least claim that they could do everything, are A, not very creative, and B, doesn't have a system, things like how they really coordinate their service. And if you see the success, we have been publicly listed. We have been 5 years ago something a little more than 60 million euro revenue, and we're now about 110 this year. So you can see that we have in 5 years, although there has been an advertising crisis, more or less have doubled our revenue. And this comes from that concept. And it's not the only center in Germany. So the Germans believe in the concept of decentralization, which is different from Anglo-Saxon and different from French concept. Which in a globalized world is, to my mind, an advantage. Because if you look in time, let's say 25 years from now, I don't believe that there will be one center in the world. America will be still strong, and obviously China and India will have a role, and Russia will be probably more influential than today, but it will be all next to each other, and there will be a network between those, and an interaction between those. And I see the same with network. So it's not about structure, it's not about network as structure, it's about networking. So how do people work together? I mean, if you go into your team, in your editing team, one thing is the structure, and the other thing is do you really interact? Does someone really help you? Does someone really support you? It's nothing to do with structure, it's about culture, it's about team building, it's about working together. And you all have in your professional career seen people who truly help, and some who just do what they are forced to do, but just to the point where they say, you know, I have done my duty, so it's not my problem, it's your problem. And to get that's one part of the orchestra concept, that people really work together, that they really share ideas. I mean, one of the typical issues in those areas is if you have staff exchange programs, and there are companies where you say, okay, this one I don't need. So I give it to exchange program. We're probably the worst people that traveling. And the entire idea is that best people change. So that the company says, you're the best one in our team, therefore you get the opportunity to go to London for a year or so. So if you don't work together, then say, I don't want to lose my best people. So I give into that program if there is someone I don't need. Which at the very end for the entire organization is obviously not as good, or is to say, creates the opposite of what it should create. And therefore working truly together is the key, and it's a cultural thing. And if you want to ask me what's my core job, is to making people truly working together. That's my job. Yeah, taking someone else's problem as your own problem, and not saying, give me the problem because I can do it better, but truly support someone to solve the problem.
So you didn't contribute at all to the campaign of Cebu?
Yeah, no, we did. Our PR agency in Germany did help them a lot in creating the West European PR.
Okay.
Not PR in Romania. Sleeping giant.
Yeah, and recently you hired a new boss, Michal Serb, whose image is a little bit controversial in Czech advertising branch. So do you have some plans how to give back life to Scholz and Friends Prague? Or?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why we hired new people and engaged Robert Schoenfeld also is because we want to realize the agency. We purposely say it's slightly different, not to have because the phrasing. What we believe is that you need good advice to people, to clients, how to maneuver in a more complex world. And that's the positioning. So it's not about I have everything. It's like, it's not in restaurants saying I have the largest menu. It is about I can tell you what fits to you. That's our view. So that's slightly, but it is still slightly different. And we have won several important, and obviously the German ones are usually the biggest one, because Germany is so big.
Powerful.
Powerful, but for example, Toshiba, computers on a European basis is very important to us. Then further master food business, I would say, is really important to us. Master food, yeah. If you ask me to, then RWE is a huge campaign we do. Good question. Which one is the most? There is not the single one. Yeah, I mean we have one every week, at least 2 accounts. The plan for next half year is to introduce Low Deutschland to all the major international low clients, which are Nokia, Saab, Nestle, and Johnson & Johnson, and Novartis, very important. And I would be happy if, let's say, 2 or 3 of them would join us within 2007.
I speak from Spain that always the trouble, the agencies are not very happy with advertisers. They don't pay, they think what they have to pay for their work, or otherwise advertisers say, you're not changing with the changing world enough. How is it this moment, generally in Germany, this kind of relation between agency and advertiser?
I mean, we have, through the economy decrease Germany has seen, there have been lots of budget cuts, which has nothing to do with the quality of the agency in general, but with the cost-saving program. As German economy has grown last year, it's probably grown pretty significantly this year too. This development came to an end, and therefore it's easier than it has been years before. But there's no just general comment. I believe that in agencies have development. If you look at the agency landscape 20 years ago, then you would find agencies you don't find today anymore. And those agencies haven't made the change. And so within the next 10 years, there will be a different landscape. I personally believe, otherwise I wouldn't have my job right now. that Scholz is leading edge regarding the new offers and changes, and so today the market believed, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't. I mean, the market hasn't grown that significantly, so the almost 100% growth we did in gaining market share, not because the market grew that fast. And that means that other agencies didn't perform as good as we did. Lobe Schumann, which we all still like very much, helped us not only by giving us space and taking the majority, which he gave up immediately after the law changed, but also helped us with, she cooked every day, and she was just, it was just amazing. And we worked more or less day and night. And then we were mid-20s, we didn't really think about what will be the outcome. At the end of the story is that this small Western company grew significantly and then took over the Hamburg company.
Nice.
And that's why I'm now the CEO of the entire company, etc. This is something like it's in short terms the history of Scholz & Friends. So we still honor her with this picture, and there is this law's law, which you find at the end of this yellow book. If you take the last page there, and you have her 10 rules, which is really interesting, because you can manage your publishing company, and you can manage an agency and almost everything with that rules. There's a lot of truth in it.